The future is going to be bright and colourful, and these Godox lights definitely deliver, but you don't want to do this because you want a bit of control over your futuristic lighting. So rather than having all of the lights going at once, let's start here with a simple one light setup like this. And once I've got the first light sorted out, I'll show you two alternative ways to use a second light and create futuristic style lighting effects. But first, let's talk about the lights. The lights I'm using today are the Litemons LA300R and the LA150R. The R's the fun bit, that is the RGB colourful part, but of course it will do white light if that's what you want. But for my futuristic lighting, I definitely want some colour, so I'm going to switch into the HSI mode and dial in some direct numbers for full control. So I'm going to go with a hue value, which is the colour, of 210, and a saturation, I'm going to dial in 75. Now, I don't want to go too saturated with the colour, because I want to have a little bit of the natural skin tone coming through. I don't want to completely blow this out with super saturated teal coloured lights. But this is my base exposure and my base colour for this entire setup. With the blue light on Chloe from the Litemons LA300R, I'm going to use the Litemons 150R to put a different colour onto Chloe, but not right the way across her face. I just want to put a little edge of colour just to separate her from the background. Now the colour I've dialed in here has a hue value of 280 and a saturation of 75. And I'm going to position it roughly at Chloe's eye height and turned just slightly in so it catches the side of her face and lights the background a little bit as well. I might change the background, but for now, this is what this looks like. And that's this first look set up. So I think we should take a few photos like this. Chloe, are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. The intensity or power of the lights is going to depend on the camera settings you're using, but to get my camera settings to work, I'm running at 100% power on the LA300R, but only 3% power on the Litemons LA150R, simply because of the amazing efficiency you get from that reflector that's included in the kit. Although I'm looking at lighting, you can't really ignore the background, because if I just switch out the textured background just to the plain white wall of my studio, same lighting, but very different results. This is the Godox BPSE. It's a projection unit only for LED lights, and I've got the 65mm lens. I'm going to replace the standard reflector that comes in the kit on the Litemons LA150R with the projection unit. Now this, for our futuristic lighting style, opens up a whole range of possibilities, because you can put gobos and project shapes, but today the future is round. So let me take you through the setup for this second look. The main light, the key light, exactly the same. Same light placement, same light type, same light color. Behind, I've now got the LA150R beaming a circle that's nice and sharp onto the whitish wall of our studio. And if I take this picture, it's going to be okay. We're going to get the same blue light on Chloe, pink background that we had before. However, that color scheme works really well, but I don't have to stick with it. In fact, what I'm going to do is to reverse the colors. Now, you could do this manually by changing them, or you can just program it into the app, which is what I've done. And now I have pink light on Chloe and a blue circle. And that looks like this, which is a very different color scheme. Now, the brightness of that circle back there is critically important. If you have the illumination level too high, it's going to go to a pure white. If you have it too low, it's going to be quite a strong color. Which one is correct is entirely up to you. And I strongly recommend that you experiment with all of these colors and all of these powers to get a whole range of photos, which is exactly what we're going to do. So Chloe, are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go. To really maximize the color saturation I'm getting from these Litemons LED lights, I've turned off all of the room lights for the stills photography power. And because I haven't moved the LA300R, it still has the same 2 foot by 3 foot softbox. It's still at 100% intensity, but the LA150R with the projector, I found I needed about 25% intensity to get the color and look I'm after. Choosing the right color for your images is just as important thing as choosing the right exposure, and the Litemons range from Godox with their RGB capabilities really gives me a whole bunch of opportunities to explore that. In fact, what color would you use for your futuristic portraits?